General Emergency COVID-19 Procurement. At the head of all of this and taking it up is the Good Party's Secretary General, Brett Herron. He joins us online now. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
All right. So, what are the issues that the Good Party has picked up in terms of money spent in procurement following COVID-19?
Well, I think the biggest issue for the city of Cape Town has been that the largest portion of their spend, I think about 88% of their spend, was on the what many have called a concentration camp in Strandfontein on the Cape Flats, a camp that they set up for homeless people, a camp that I visited on the day it was set up and observed for myself that it was wholly inappropriate. So I think of the 61 million, 53 million rand was spent on this camp. The camp opened at the beginning of April. It closed down in the middle of May following condemnation by any organization that visited it, including Doctors Without Borders and the South African Human Rights Commission. It was an inappropriate solution. It was a violation of human rights. The idea was to put 2,000 homeless people in these big, large marquee tents, which is not a solution when you're trying to implement isolation and social distancing. People were on a cold, damp sports field. So it was just wholly inappropriate. But on the cost side of it, to spend 53 million rand for 6 weeks with absolutely nothing to show for it, the homeless people are now back on the streets, uncared for, and the field has now gone back to being a sports field.
Mm-hmm. And what about the companies involved in obviously providing these services to the city? Has there been any look into who they are, or what if they had perhaps benefited? Were the amounts spent by the city, in accordance to what the normal trend is, or were they inflated?
Well, look, I mean the tent hire for that Strandfontein camp, for example, was about 44 million rand of the 53 million. And 44 million rand for 6 weeks of tent hire. And I'm not an expert in tent hire, but to me that seems obscene. These are event kind of, so they're marquees that people would hire for events. If you think about it, the industry was shut down. So you would think that businesses that were in that industry would be giving very good deals. I can't imagine that hiring a tent for 6 weeks costs 44 million rand. I think you can buy a building. I mean, we worked out you could buy a large building, 13,000 square meter building for about 12 million rand in Cape Town. You could have renovated it and had a permanent solution for homeless people. So I think there is something to be investigated with the procurement for that homeless camp. I have already referred it to the SIU and to the Auditor General, two different components. The SIU around the procurement of the tents and the costs, and to the Auditor General because what the city did, instead of procuring food services and management services of the camp, they gave money directly to what they call non-profit organizations to provide the meals and the management without following proper procurement. So that I've referred to the Auditor General for investigation.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Now, the rest of the country, there has been quite a bit of reporting about wastage of money, PPE procurements. It's been all over the place. Has the Good Party also called for investigations into areas that are run by ANC members and municipalities that are in the control of the African National Congress?
Look, we are calling for investigation wherever there is inappropriate or what appears to be inappropriate procurement. We don't have evidence necessarily, but you look at the numbers. I mean, Patricia de Lille, our leader, is a member of the cabinet, and she's called for investigation within her own department of the procurement costs for the reinstatement of the border between South Africa and Zimbabwe. So wherever there has been what appears to be inappropriate spending or procurement, we're calling for an investigation. But I'm a member of Parliament I'm a member of the Western Cape Provincial Legislature, so my direct oversight is in the Cape, and even in the Western Cape Provincial Government, there is some expenditure that seems inappropriate to me. In the Education Department in the Western Cape, they spent 323 million rand, the largest spender of all the departments. And 322.8 million rand went to one company. It has no business address. It has no website. It operates out of a residential address in the suburbs of Cape Town, and it doesn't manufacture anything. So they, in 4 months, scored 322.8 million of the 323 million spent by the Western Cape Education Department. So if I have evidence, if I see something inappropriate, I'm calling for it to be investigated, and I'm going to the SIU.
Has there been any, response from the SIU or the Auditor General about the information that you have provided?
Both the SIU and the Auditor General have written back to me. The SIU twice to tell me that they are looking into it. The Auditor General to thank me for the referral and to acknowledge it and to say that it's been sent to their Business Investigations Unit. So I assume that those bodies are onto it. I understand that they're probably overwhelmed given what is going on across the country, but I expect that they will be at least investigated.
Mr. Brett Herron, the Good Party Secretary General, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness, and every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and free zakat calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
Penny Appeal are doing something special. They're giving you the chance to make sure that 100% of your zakat is going to help people who are in desperate need. So this year, give 100% of your zakat to poor and needy people with Penny Appeal and reap the rewards of fulfilling this beautiful pillar of Islam. Penny Appeal. Small change, big difference.
Salam Media, a global voice for humanity.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome here on Salam Media, Fizala.
Walaikum assalam, and thank you for having me on your news channel.
Tell us about your experience in terms of how far were you securing this job at a media house?
I was all selected for the job. They took my interview and we discussed salary and everything. But then when I told him that I observe hijab and I have certain religious practices which I will be, continue doing during my job, the recruiter told me that this is not something which is practiced in India. There is no media channel who employs someone who observes hijab.
Salam Media, a global voice for humanity.
Wow, Zahra, your designer outfit looks so stunning on you.
Thank you, Safia. All that's missing now is the perfect scarf to match my outfit. Where in this dunya am I going to find a scarf to match?
At Al Shazia, of course. They keep the most beautiful range of scarves for all occasions and in fact almost anything for the modest Muslim and Muslimah. Stunning ladies and girls abayas, burqas, kaftans, niqabs, and contemporary men and boys kurtas.
I can't wait to shop there. But how will I find the time?
No worries. Al Shazia is excited to announce the launch of their brand new online store. Shop now at www.alshazia.co.za. Al Shazia, since 1999, 215 Sparks Road, Overport, Durban. Al Shazia, the scarf specialist.
Willowton Group, manufacturers of Sunfoil, Sunshine D, and Delight, supports the Stay Home Save South Africa campaign and calls for all South Africans to heed the call to help stop the spread of the coronavirus pandemic. Practice social distancing, wash your hands regularly with soap, avoid touching your face, and cough and sneeze into your elbow or into a tissue and throw it away immediately. Together we can beat this. Together we have hope. Visit sacoronavirus.co.za for more information.
Breaking stereotypes, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media. Humanity sets the agenda.
On August 6, 2020, Saudi Arabia's former spy chief, Saad al-Jabri, filed a complaint in a US court against Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Al-Jabri accused bin Salman of threatening to kill him soon after Jamal Khashoggi. 2 years after allegedly ordering Khashoggi's murder, why is MBS still out for blood? I'm Ali Mustafa, and this is Fear and Loathing in Riyadh, Decoded. In the summer of 2015, Mohammed bin Salman, then third in line to the throne, gave a green light to Russian President Vladimir Putin to intervene in Syria on the side of Bashar al-Assad. By all accounts, Assad's days were then numbered, in large part due to the coalition organized from the Saudi-controlled Riyadh Room. So it angered the Americans when they found out about MBS's invitation to Moscow. This was revealed in a lawsuit filed by Saad al-Jabri in the United States. To be more specific, Dr. Saad bin Khalid bin Saad al-Jabri is a former Saudi official with long-standing ties to US intelligence. Al-Sabri says he helped his US counterpart save thousands of American lives by interrupting a terrorist attack in Chicago. He was also a longtime associate of deposed Crown Prince Mohammed bin Nayef. Bin Nayef, who is the king's cousin, has been more or less under detention since 2017 when MBS took over as Crown Prince. But bin Nayef's close links to US intelligence still make him a considerable threat to MBS. Enough of a threat that MBS allegedly went after Nayef's right-hand man, Saad al-Jabri, the man with the secrets. Al-Jabri says he became a target for MBS after meeting CIA Director John Brennan in 2015, who conveyed the Obama administration's displeasure over bin Salman's offer to Putin. Al-Jabri fled to Canada after being tipped off by the CIA of becoming a target. He alleges that MBS sent a death squad to Toronto to have him killed. Journalist David Hurst identifies this group as the Tiger Squad, MBS's personal hit team. According to court filings, the hit squad arrived in Canada to assassinate al-Jabri shortly after the killing of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi at the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. The CIA says bin Salman ordered Khashoggi's killing. MBS also hacked the cell phone of Washington Post owner Jeff Bezos during this time. Al-Jabri claims MBS sought to lure him to jurisdictions in which he could be killed. It's alleged 2 of Al-Jabri's children have been detained to lure him back to Saudi Arabia. More relatives are also reportedly being held hostage by MBS. Al-Jabri says one reason why bin Salman wants him dead is his deep knowledge and close links to US intelligence. Al-Jabri is now under protection by heavily armed officers of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police as well as private security. A petulant prince, easily offended and always insecure, sending hit squads to murder critics abroad, in control of huge oil reserves and tens of billions of dollars in US military hardware. The future hope of the Muslim world or its biggest threat? The Saudi theocratic state is now in the hands of an unhinged monarch who might be facing the biggest challenge in his bid to seize the crown. And that's MBS Decoded this week. You'll find us 24/7 on YouTube. Reach out to me on Twitter at Ali_Mustafa.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media, your humanitarian broadcaster.
Yes, welcome back to the program now. in this break, that was a credit given to TRT World. Unfortunately, we are struggling to get hold of Miss Hiba Zayadin. researcher at Human Rights Watch, the Middle East desk. But I was listening to a production by a gentleman known as Caro Charo. And you may know him from his social media profile. I think he's based in the Durban area. I'm not too certain, but he mimics a phone call to none other than Julius Malema, in which he tries to explain the Clicks saga. And then just I think yesterday as well, he did a similar skit in which he mimicked a call to Chandra El Lowry, the man who stood up in the Adhan saga and went ahead with the case there. And really, he breaks it down very simply and very realistically, and in a manner that brings out the humor and wit, excellently put together, and says what many is perhaps what's on the mind of many South Africans, and takes out the political hogwash from the entire scenario, and just places the dry facts in front of you in a very humorous, funny way that makes us laugh as South Africans, perhaps even at ourselves at times. And if you have some time, log on to the Facebook page of Caro Charo, and you'll be able to see it there. Another interesting piece of inspiring news that we've come across, and I'm just going to Google it up and find it here. A 15-year-old Palestinian girl has used the opportunity of the lockdown, right, to memorize the entire Quran. She has become a Hafidha, and this is on Ilm Feed. You can find it there. 15-year-old Taqwa Zahir from Palestine has memorized the entire Quran in less than 6 months. She took advantage of the quarantine period at home to focus on her memorization and recently finished the memorization of the entire Quran. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless her and her efforts. Totally amazing. I mean, really, many of us, in fact, all of us, perhaps had kids or nephews or nieces, grandchildren, brothers, sisters, siblings, or perhaps even ourselves who sat at home for the duration of the lockdown that many countries had to experience. But what did we do with that particular amount of time? Did we focus? Did we, wake up every morning at 10 o'clock and then start our day and say that this is a great holiday that we've received, and then, stay up late into the night watching series on TV or Netflix, or just Googling away aimlessly on social networks? A 15-year-old girl put her mind to it. And in this period of time, in under 6 months, she has memorized the entire Quran. Some of the comments that she has received from Imtiaz Hussein, productive Muslim, mashallah, may she continue to excel, inshallah. Maqbul Malik says, beautiful, mashallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect her and family from any difficulty and grant her lots of success. Sajida Patan says, it's truly a miracle to memorize the glorious Quran, which makes it a proof of divine revelation. MashaAllah. May Allah persevere it or preserve it in her heart